Students, I am Abhishek sir and today I am going to teach English grammar to the class 7. Okay, so in this subject our first chapter is the sentence. Alright, okay, so the topic says the sentence. Then we come to the definition of the sentence, which says a sentence is a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate. See, a sentence should be having at least a verb and a subject, which could be a noun or a pronoun. Only then the group of words will be called a sentence. Otherwise, it would be meaningless to say that the group of words are sentence. Here we can see an example which says Ram and Tara speak English when they are working. Here you can see Ram and Tara are two nouns which are used as a subject here. And then in the predicate we can see speak, which is a verb. And then the following words complete the sentence. One thing should be noted is that in a subject there must be either a noun or a pronoun which would be defining a subject. In predicate there must be at least a verb. Alright, a predicate can contain only verb, that would be sufficient. But if there is no verb, then we cannot call the group of words as predicate. Then there is a note. A sentence must always start with a capital letter and should end with either a full stop, question mark or an exclamation mark. Otherwise, that group of words would not be called a sentence. So in this chapter, we are not going to talk about the types and kinds of the sentences. We are only going to talk about the basic differences between the sentences, the clauses and the phrases. Alright? So here our next topic is the phrase. Okay? A phrase is a collection of words that may have nouns or verbs, but it does not have a subject doing work. See, what's the difference between a sentence and a phrase? In a sentence, there is a noun, alright? There is a subject which is doing the work. But in a phrase, there is no subject doing the work. There may be a noun, but not as a subject. It can be present as a predicate form, but not as a subject. Alright? So, in a phrase, there would be no noun doing the verb. Okay? Here you can see the examples. The first example says, broken into thousands of pieces. Alright? So, it says that something is broken into thousands of pieces. But what? What is that thing? It's not defined here. Okay? Alright? So, here you can see that the subject or the noun which which the phrase is talking about is absent from this place. So here we can say that this group of words is not a sentence, but it is a phrase, since it contains a verb. Alright? In the definition we have seen that it may contain a verb. Alright? But it must not be containing any noun or a pronoun as a subject. Okay? Then that group of word is called a phrase. See the next example which says before the first test. Alright? So here you can also see that there is no subject or no noun or pronoun which is qualifying as a subject. And similarly there is the third example which says leaving behind the dog. But there is no subject which qualifies it as a sentence. That's why we would call all these three examples as phrases. Alright. Now moving on to our next topic, which is the clause. So our next topic is the clause. Alright. A clause is a collection of words that has a subject that is actively doing a verb. See, it is different from the phrase. A phrase doesn't have a subject. Alright? there are group of words in a phrase, but there is no subject in a phrase. But here we can say that in a clause there is a subject which is actively doing a verb. All right. Here in the examples we can see when the saints go marching in. See, it's a twisted form of the sentences. All right. The types of the clauses are not defined in your book or not present in your book, otherwise we would have discussed about them also. All right. But here just looking at the definition of the clause, it says there would be a subject. All right, there would be a subject which would be actively doing a verb. Doing a verb means doing something, either working or doing any kind of work. All right, but with the clauses there is a thing that the two clauses are mostly joined together to form a complete sentence. All right, two clauses are generally joined together to form a complete sentence. Okay, the clauses are joined by the two ways. There is a subordinate joining and then there is a coordinate way of joining them. The types are not mentioned in your book, that's why we would not be discussing here at this present time. We would be looking at the next example, which says because she smiled at him. You can see in both the examples there is the presence of noun. Here you can see saints are noun and they are actively working as a subject. In the other example you can see she is actively working as a subject. All right, and here we can see the active verbs which are marching in the first example and smiled in the other example. All right, so that was all for now. Wrapping up, and we will see you in the next class.